Hello, EDCI 704 candidates. Dr. Palermo with your week one instructional video. A little bit about the course, the textbooks, the assignments, basically getting you started. And you'll note that this is a very quick 10-week summer program, and the weeks are going to run Wednesday through Tuesday. So generally speaking, if you are posting a discussion board post, please read and respond by Sunday night. If it requires a response to another, that gives folks Monday and Tuesday to wrap it all up by Tuesday midnight for that week's submission. So the week one is 9 days. After that, we'll start running 7-day weeks starting Wednesday morning through Tuesday night at midnight. So just a word about that. The evidences that you'll complete this summer in our program are the CNA-B, a District Comprehensive Needs Assessment, the PEB, the next step in planning out the details of your program evaluation, and the PLP-A. More about that to come later, but part of your assignment this week is to go over to the course assessment section, to open the folders for each of these 3 evidences, please, and to watch the videos from Dr. Brown on these evidences. So CNA-B is again the district portion. You'll do a district comprehensive needs assessment as you have done for your school, and please watch this video to get oriented to the CNA-B. So do this stuff to get started on thinking about your evidences for the summer, please. And from that, I asked you to then do a discussion board with your initial thoughts about the CNA. What will be your district? For many smaller school districts, jumping from the school to a district of 10 schools or 15 schools is a good progression from the school site to a little bit bigger organization. If you are working in Wake or Cumberland, a much larger school district where you may not be able to wrap your hands around 30 or 60 or 120 different schools, a cluster, a group of schools that makes sense. In Wake County, we're organized by regions. So a region in Wake County might consist of a cluster of 12 or 15 schools. Perhaps your elementary school is part of a feeder pattern to a particular high school. So the elementary schools within that feeder pattern would be a district in the sense of a larger organization to study. It does not have to be one school district. The books. Cresswell, folks, is the Bible for Gardner-Webb methodology. It doesn't cover everything, so we have supplemented it with Erdan and other statistical texts. But when it comes time to describing the approach that you're taking, the methodology that you'll be using in your dissertation, please quote Cresswell. Cresswell is a good overview of quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods in research. And again, I expect you to quote Cresswell when it comes time to writing chapter 3 of your dissertation. Do get the data enhanced leadership, Blankenship, and start reading that, please. Do get the Erdan and start reading chapter 1. Cresswell is your Bible. Make sure that you've read chapter 1 of Cresswell, please, and responded here to the week 1 research design. Quantitative methods, mostly numbers. Qualitative methods, mostly words, but there's more to it than that, folks. And chapter 1 gives you a nice overview. Please do read chapter 1 carefully. I expect you to be able to talk both in your discussion boards and your face-to-face session about the basic philosophical assumptions that researchers bring to the different studies of quantitative or qualitative methodologies. Qualitative is, broadly speaking, trying to understand meaning. You know, as social scientists, as folks in, well, you work in a school. You're not going to be running rats through mazes in laboratories. When it comes to action research, studying some phenomenon in schools, a qualitative approach that tries to get at understanding meaning may be the correct approach for you. If you are simply crunching numbers and you're trying to understand some phenomenon in school by examining achievement test scores, survey results, numbers primarily, then you're taking a quantitative approach. And usually here we're doing more of a true scientific experiment, setting up a hypothesis, trying to prove or disprove that theory. And some folks prefer this and feel that it is a better, a more scientific approach to research. If quantitative methodologies appeal to you, you should be ready to run numbers and statistical reports. A mixed method is one that is often taken by educational researchers. Perhaps you're using a survey and analyzing the results and trying with an ANOVA to see if these results are any greater than would have been found simply by chance. You can nail down some things with a survey and a quantitative approach. If you mix that then with a qualitative approach, perhaps you're interviewing folks, you're doing focus groups, you're observing them and writing it up. Then perhaps we're triangulating and mixing quantitative and qualitative approaches and converging on the truth. Because again, what we're trying to find with action research and methodologies in research in schools is what is some truth? Is it true that that the identifiers for gifted education are valid and reliable and really pick kids that are gifted? We're trying to get at some aspect of truth as we understand it. And remember, in schools, a whole lot of different things affect a child's achievement status. So if you have done one thing in a school and tweaked it, and then expect that to result in different student achievement outcomes, there may be other factors involved. So we're going to have to talk a lot about the reliability and validity when it comes to the statistics and the data that you're gathering in order to resolve some truth, to come to some truth. Please try to understand the best that you can, not only the approaches, qual, or mixed methods that you'll use in your research, but try to understand what Creswell is talking about in terms of world views. If you've never thought deeply about what a post-positive worldview is, or a constructivist worldview, or a transformative worldview, perhaps you're one of those radical feminists who wants to see the world in terms of gender, and that would be a transformative worldview or a pragmatic worldview. Pick one, probably, and it should probably align with the type of research approach that you're taking. So constructivism works better with qualitative methodology sometimes. At any rate, the alternative research designs are laid out nicely in Chapter 1. You will be forced to pick one. Why? Well, it just narrows down. A whole lot of the dissertation research is about narrowing down, and one of the major narrowing is whether you're going to stick primarily with words or numbers, a quantitative or qualitative approach. So again, read Chapter 1 in Creswell, read Erdan and Blankenship as well. Then do spend some time in these other resources, please. I loved looking at this Creswell site and watching some of the videos here about selection of the research approach. These are great little short videos, 3, 4, 5 minutes long, and they tell us a lot about quantitative, qualitative research. So if watching a video, checking out the script is a better way for you to understand this stuff than to read the textbook, these resources are here for you as well. Please do read over that stuff or watch these videos. So lots of material. Check out the evidence introductions. Do check out the textbooks and read those, please. Do check out these online sites. I'm signing up for the Erdan book, and it hasn't given me access there yet, so get started on that stuff. I closed one of the discussion boards for this week to give you a minor break. I do want you to ask questions that I can and will address in our first face-to-face session, especially if it's about any of the content here. Do respond about research design and what you found from Erdan, as well as your initial thoughts on the CNA-B. So lots to read, lots to write. It's a little bit longer week this week. And please write to me at jpalermo@Gardner-Webb if you have specific questions about this week's content. I'll be responsible for week 1, and Dr. Greer and I will tag team both the video responsibilities and reading of Blackboard as well. That's it from Dr. Palermo this week. Hope you have a great week. I look forward to seeing you in our first face-to-face session when we meet. And data enhanced leadership and qualitative will be that first introductory session. That's it. Have a great week.